Hi, it's Michele Replogle with Coldwell Banker Realty with this week's market update. I do them every 2 weeks, and if you want to make sure you don't miss any, please subscribe and share. I'm going to talk a bit about statistics as I usually do, and then buyer and seller tips and things that I'm seeing in the market right now. So let's get started. New listing 67, which is down from 72 of last week, but active inventory is 203. I really kind of am always hoping that we're going to get actually in the 300 to 400 listing setting. That's actually really good. But right now, what we're having, and I talked about this last time, is we have inventory coming on. I mean, I check it every 24 hours, and we have 20 new listings. I mean, we were down to just 5 or 6 every 24 hours. So it's really good. Just know there's a lot of buyers in the market. And when you have a lot of buyers in the market, if they're not, listings are not all under time constraints, like look at offers 7 days from when it was listed and 2 weeks out or at the end of the month. There's all different time frames of when offers get looked at. But if somebody puts something on the market and they just want to sell it now, you're going to see that inventory just zip right off. So there's a lot of buyers. I wouldn't say particularly that there isn't a lot of inventory. I'd say there's a lot of buyers. That being said, active inventory is 203. It's getting there, but it just keeps getting chewed up. Pending and contingent, that's under contract. We have 68. Transaction canceled 5, which is up. It's up 2, and week over week, that's actually a little up. Typically I've been seeing about 3. Sold is 56. That's the same, and expired canceled 3. So expired and canceled, that's kind of interesting because that just means the listing got taken off or it expired and it didn't sell. 3 doesn't mean a whole lot really because that's just not very many. Anyway, I wanted to get into some buyer and seller tips, and right away I want to talk to sellers. So that's you. If you're selling, when you sign your listing agreement and you start talking to your realtor, which is me, and you talk about all the things you want to do to sell. So I want to paint a little here, and I want to do this, and I'm going to get the carpets cleaned, and I want to get the windows cleaned, and I'm going to have that handyman come over and fix that last little piece on the fence. We're just going to get all that stuff done. That's great. Keep in mind, all your work now as a seller is up front. So you sign that listing agreement and you get working with your agent, and all your work is done up front, because when the buyer comes in, they want to buy it. They more than likely are going to tell you they're not going to have any contingencies, maybe an appraisal contingency and maybe a loan contingency. Remember, a contingency is a condition of sale. So they're going to buy it subject to the appraisal. They're going to buy it subject to them getting a loan, but not necessarily subject to them approving of the property. They're going to come to you and go, look, we want a house. We're probably going to pay over list for it, and we want all your stuff done. So that means all the little hanging things that you just always kind of wanted to do, and but now you've decided you want to listen, you don't want to get to them. That's fine, disclose it, but just know all those little details need to be done up front. None of this hey, well, let's just talk about who gets the pots after we get into contract, and the buyer wants the pots and the seller's like, well, I'm going to take them, but nobody talked about it. Those kind of details can turn into big details later. So think it all through. What are you taking? Are you keeping your washer and dryer and your refrigerator? Don't wait till you get a contract to make those decisions. Same thing for you, buyer. Buyer, if you're buying it and you go through and you go, hey, I like that washer and dryer, you better ask for it. Again, all those details up front. There's really not much room for negotiation after the contract is completed, basically, when you're in contract. Same thing goes if you don't want the refrigerator, washer, dryer. Last summer I sold a house and I told the buyers, I said, hey, you got to tell that seller they got to get this washer and dryer out of there. They're really no good. They're outdated, and I'm not even sure if they work. And the fridge, I don't know. It was probably Fred Flintstone's refrigerator, if you know what I mean. That thing was old. didn't keep anything cold, not even cockroaches. That's the other thing you got to know. Again, these details have to be hammered out up front. So if you think the seller and you're the buyer, you think, well, the seller's not going to want to get rid of those appliances, and they're not that hard to get rid of. So maybe you don't want to tell them. Fine, don't. I'm saying just think about it up front. And seller, if you're like, hey, I'm not getting rid of that washer and dryer, know that up front. Before you go into contract, tell the buyer, hey, I'm going to give you this house. I like you. I like your offer. I like your agent. I like your whole package. And guess what? You're getting rid of the washer and dryer. Anyway, market's moving fast. All negotiation is happening right at the contract table. When you're working on the contract, there's not a lot of negotiation later. So dot your I's, cross your T's, be ready to go at the gate, and it'll be a lot smoother. You need any more tips, help at all, please text me, call me, email me. I'm not on Skype anymore. You don't need to Skype me. I'm on WhatsApp occasionally, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, you know the whole drill. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye.